Hello everyone, Time to Grind here, and today I wanted to talk about Fallout 76, and in particular the entire conversation of the game not launching on Steam, but instead on their own Bethesda.net, client. And a lot of people are kind of angry about this, and I'd say for a decent reason, because overall Steam is an amazing storefront and ecosystem. I'd even say it's one of the best, if not the best. It's easily one of the best on PC, and I'd argue it's better than Sony or Microsoft's Xbox or PlayStation ecosystems. It has so many features that nothing else has. It has its own entire Steam marketplace with trading and an economy. The whole way it handles friends and groups and everything like that is really good. Although a lot of features, especially like user reviews, could be improved, they are being improved and they're already better than most other places. And, the way they handle the, Steam Workshop where, you can just easily mod games that, support it and stuff like that. Steam does so much right. And by no means am I trying to say that Steam is perfect or there's no way it could improve, because Steam is not perfect. There's a lot of ways it can improve, but I would easily say it's one of the best. So, hearing that a game that, you're really excited for is not going to come out on Steam can be a bummer, especially if you're like me, who is heavily invested into Steam. I mean, even if there was a platform so much better than Steam, it honestly would be hard for me to make the switch because of how invested I am into, my game library and, my profile on Steam. I have a ridiculous amount of games, way more. I don't even know how I got half these games, but I have like 500 games on Steam, and it's just, it really makes you just kind of attached to that platform. It feels like Steam's going to be my platform of choice for a while, if not permanently, until I die. But, it makes sense why some people are upset, especially because of the fact that, the client that they're putting it on, their own client, is not good. Because for the longest time we had Steam, and there were a couple exceptions to the rules, of everything coming out on Steam, but, sometimes not. So, one of the biggest exceptions was, Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. The Blizzard part of it had all their Blizzard games on the Battle.net client. So Hearthstone, World of Warcraft, the, StarCraft games, Heroes of the Storm now, and stuff like that. And then, eventually, because Activision Blizzard are, part of the same company, Activision was like, what, we have a launcher, why don't we just put our games there? And the reason why, in case you don't know, people don't want to put their games on Steam is an obvious one. It's because of what, people call the Steam tax. And, there's not a set in stone kind of percentage that you have to pay Valve to put your game on it. Some people go up as high, they take 40% of your sales, or some people are, no, they only take 10% of the sales. But apparently it's on a case-per-case bias. So if you're a big, developer, it might be different than if you're a really small, indie developer. And overall, though, the kind of percentage that's being thrown around is 30%. Supposedly, on average, 30% of your sales are given to Steam. They take 30% of your sales, whether that's in-game purchases or just the actual sale itself. So that's a lot of money. But one thing and I'm going to talk about something that I saw on a Reddit thread, and I'll link to that, below in the description. It just kind of piqued my interest a little bit. He brought up a really good point. He mentioned that a lot of people think that by moving Fallout 76 to their own client, they're going to be making 30% more money, but that's not necessarily the case, because although 30% does seem like a lot of money, Valve and, with Steam is doing a lot. First of all, they're hosting servers and everything like that. They have the entire storefront that, hosts your game and everything like that. You pretty much just give them game files and they, update the game for you. So, you can really easily just update the game, just by pushing out the new game files, and it just does it to everyone's computers. It handles in-game purchases and everything like that through its own systems, its own servers. If you want to have a modding community, you can utilize the Steam Workshop. If you want to utilize items that can be sold or traded in the Steam economy, Steam's got your back. Steam has, just community guides. It offers a lot. And it's worth it for most game companies, especially because there's not really any other way they could do it. They could try making their own website and selling it on their own website, but that's not going to give it as much, publicity, or, it's not going to be as supported as it needs to be. And especially for multiplayer games, because multiplayer games can utilize Steam's kind of systems a lot better. You have the, friend inviting, your group system, so you could turn that into a clan system. You have Steam's servers itself, they offer a lot. And so a lot of these big companies, after we saw, kind of Battle.net and stuff like that, we then had Origin, and that's EA's kind of platform. And originally they were putting their games on Steam and also, the Origin platform as well. And eventually now they're only putting it on Origin. And, we have Uplay, which actually is still putting their games both on Steam and Uplay. It's just if you buy it on Steam, you do have to install Uplay. It does it automatically. And when you open up, say Rainbow Six Siege, it opens up it in Steam, but then it opens up like Uplay's system, and you have to use Uplay in game. But that I can tolerate that because of the fact that I can still have the game in Steam. I can still utilize these things like the Steam reviews and Steam guides and stuff like that. But a lot of people are just really angry, and I personally, I don't like having a lot of launchers. Like I said, I'm already heavily invested in Steam, but I have on my computer, I have Steam, I have Battle.net, I have Origin, I have the Uplay client, and I have GOG Galaxy or GOG, and that was mainly just because of Gwent when I was playing it for a while. But I have a lot of launchers. I have the League of Legends launcher from when I tried the game out a while ago, so it can be annoying, especially when all of these places, some of them are trying to compete with Valve, not only put their own games on it, but like Origin, try to compete and sell the games, indie games and stuff like that as well. But the problem is none of these platforms or storefronts are even remotely as good as Steam's. I'd say probably the second best would be Battle.net, just because it works as a platform to have at least just a friends list and update the games, but it has nothing compared to Steam. No, just Steam has, I've already listed all the stuff Steam has, but it doesn't really have anything, but at least it's functional, to say the least. When you have, my experience with the Bethesda client is not good. I had to get it when I was first trying the Quake Champions beta because it was only on there. It wasn't on Steam originally. I had so many problems with it. Origin itself is just, I don't like messing with EA, but even it's gotten a little better, the kind of their system, but overall, still not bad. Just Steam itself is good, and competition is good. It's always been a thing when the economy or whatever. Competition's good because it improves things to be better, but none of these are really pushing Steam to be better. Like, Steam is so miles ahead from any of these other launchers that there's not really a reason for them to improve. And I mean, they are improving. It's not like any of these are actually posing a threat to Steam. But what I want to kind of do, with this video is Fallout 76 is made by Bethesda, and Bethesda is a big company, so they don't really have to rely on Steam for servers and all these things. And people are thinking, oh well, it's so stupid they're putting it on the Bethesda client. They're gonna make 30% more money on each sale, but they're not going to sell as many copies. And that I just want to point out in this video, because obviously Fallout 76 wasn't the main topic of this video. It was just kind of an example to talk about storefronts and everything like that. But Fallout 76 will be fine. It is Bethesda. It is a Fallout game. It will not sell less because of the fact that it's on Steam. Obviously that might not be true to an extent because more people might see it, but the money they're making back, because they are a big company and they can support the whole servers and everything like that, they're fine. They're not going to worry about it. They don't really care. It doesn't even matter that their client's not as good as Steam's, because it is a Fallout game. People are going to play it, just like no one knew about the Epic client. I mean, who knew what the Epic client was before Fortnite? Then you have Fortnite. I mean, everybody has the Epic client now. I mean, I had it when I tried Fortnite, not even the Battle Royale. I bought the, old Fortnite, the one it was originally intended to be. But when you're a big enough game, the rules don't apply to you. So these companies don't need to use Steam. They don't need to use Valve's, software. They can kind of do whatever they want, because they can just spend a little money and have their own platform, and it doesn't have to be good as long as it's functional. People will still use it, and they'll make 30% more money. Obviously, it doesn't really equate to 30% more because they have to be running the servers and running all this stuff, but it ends up, we can kind of guarantee that they've done some kind of cost versus, analysis. They know they'll make more money this way. They're not dumb. They're a big company. So to all the people that are thinking that this is going to destroy Fallout 76 and it's going to have no players and anything like that because of the fact that it's not on the Steam client, that's not the way it works. They're big enough where they can break the rules. If you tried to release a multiplayer indie game like this and it wasn't on Steam, now that your game has to be amazing and just get so much good publicity to be okay. But they're Bethesda. They're good. They can be fine. And honestly, I kind of support the decision. I mean, not only is it good competition, but I mean, they don't need Steam. And although I would like everybody to use Steam because Steam is really nice and I'm invested in Steam, that's overall not healthy for, you know, just one company to have the entire market share that's kind of a monopoly. I mean, it is a monopoly. So I personally support them. I mean, if they know they're going to make more money this way, then go ahead. If the game is good enough, people will still download it. People will still play it. I mean, it might be annoying, but, I mean, they have control and they can kind of do what they want, and that's my takeaway. But, you know, the fun of making these videos isn't just talking at you guys, it's also the conversation that comes afterwards. So, you know, if you guys have an opinion on Fallout 76 not coming out on Steam or any of the other, you know, game ecosystem, the launchers and stuff like that, you know, let me know in the comments down below. I love to, you know, talk with you guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. New videos come out every Wednesday and Sunday. And like always, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.